Hi everyone, it's Eve here with you again and Adrian back. Adrian, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Eve. Yes, nice to see you again. It's Adrian Beck, Emeritus Professor at the University of Leicester and the Academic Advisor to the ECR Retail Loss Group.
And this week we had fantastic session around creating the business case on the video. We were all looking forward on how retailers actually create the business case which they present to the board when they need to prove the system. So what did we hear?
Yes, it was a great session. I really enjoyed it. We had a presentation from Nate Pearson, who works at General Mills in the US, and Nate really took us through in quite some detail and in a very comprehensive way how he developed his business case when he's been utilizing it across different organizations. But I think he really majored on the element around trying to understand the true cost of ownership of video and how that can be quite a challenging thing to do because of the complexities of who's using video, where it is, legacy systems, and so on. So we had a really good session, I think, in sort of trying to unpick and understand how you go about trying to put a number on what that true cost of ownership is. And I think without that, it's very hard, isn't it, to begin to build a business case because you need to understand what the costs are going to be as well as the benefits.
Yeah, and one of the interesting questions was not only how to create the initial business case, but how to keep creating it and continue it through the years. So, what was your take on that?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's obviously those, clearly there's those capital costs that you have when you're investing in a technology like video. But also Nate was very good in terms of trying to get the group to understand what are the recurrent costs as well. What are the costs in terms of people, but also just those ongoing costs that you have with them in terms of replacing equipment as it becomes obsolescent. But also things like repair and so on, and ongoing licensing around, things like the sort of the software that increasingly is important when investing in video. So he really, put across this issue of around trying to understand not only the capital costs, but also those ongoing recurrent costs that you need to understand if you're going to build, a really, viable business case that is going to offer some sense of what the return on investment might be.
And I think one of the important part of the discussion was around that it should come from the challenges rather than from the equipment which you need to purchase. So what are you trying to resolve? Do you have a source behind it from the human perspective? So it all needs to be taken in consideration because then instead of just having the item of expense, you actually get to the point of making money or improving the revenues. And this is a very difficult discussion, not easy task, but at least I think we got some type of the framework where to start and how to make the first baby steps towards it.
Yeah, I think in the ECR report that I did last year, a big part of that was trying to understand what is the purpose of video, and you need to really map out what you want it to do. What is the aim of investing in this technology? Because without that, it can be incredibly hard, if not impossible, to really then begin to try and document the value that it might bring. What is it for? And once you understand that, then you can begin to think, well, what impact is it going to have in terms of bringing value to our organization, as well as understanding what the implications are around the cost of introducing that technology to meet the aims that you've set out.
Yes, and I think another point which is very much connected to our post-COVID world, where we understand that we're nowhere near disconnected. So we're going to be very connected to IT world, and actually maintaining the systems and making them secure. It's also part of the equation. You cannot just take it from the IT function. So it's a lot about the cross-organizational collaboration, which we have discussed during the year over and over again. But here it is. We need to talk to marketing. We need to talk to IT, and part of it is making sure that you are not just install it and left it as it is. It needs to be continuously updated and upgraded and simply protected, because otherwise it can be the brand damage if there's a cyber attack or something is not taken in consideration.
Yeah, that's right. I think, increasingly we need to think about video data as being one part of what is, a very important digital spine that now run through organizations. And that spine needs to be protected. It needs to be kept current. Because if you don't, as you say, you know, when we've seen many examples of this where organizations can be really severely damaged reputationally as well as financially if it's compromised in any way. And so when you begin to think about investing in video, it's becoming just as important to understand what it means digitally in terms of data as it is about physically in terms of, you know, what we traditionally think about video around cameras and recorders.
Yeah. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, everyone. If you are a retailer and you want to see the full recording, please just press the link and you can request the recording. And the next section is going to be about what?
Yes, the next one, Eve, is on July the 14th. And here we're going to be looking at how organizations are increasingly linking their point of sale review and analysis data and technologies to video. So how can you use video to help you begin to review and understand what your point of sale exception reporting interfaces may be able to tell you?
And it's going to be when?
It's going to be on the July the 14th, and we're going to have two really great presentations. One certainly from Tesco's, and there'll be another retailer as well who's going to be presenting their experiences.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, everyone. See you around. Bye.